Evening beeps, good evening everyone. How's everyone doing? Hopefully you guys are all doing well. Don't forget, if you're new to the channel, like, share, subscribe. Alright, let's have a look and see what there is to talk about today. Alright, let's start here. Gala fight. I'm going to be trying to rip Sonny Edwards' head off. I like it. I like that talk and I love this fight. I think this is going to be a cracking fight. One of the best domestic fights of the year. Maybe the best. I'm trying to think of the domestic fights we've had this year. A lot of it has been Riyadh season based in Saudi. Oh, no. AJ Dubois was probably number one. Josh Taylor, Jack Cattrall above this. Yeah, I think so. Just because of the animosity, the way the first fight ended. So I'd have that as number two. I'd have this as number three. I can't think of anything else bigger than this. It's almost a case, this one, stylistically, of the bull versus the matador. Galal, certainly the bull. He always fights on the front foot. You watch him so far in his short pro career. It has been a short pro career. He's always on the front foot. Where Sonny, he don't mind fighting on the back foot, making you miss and making you pay. So certainly bull versus matador. I really can't split the two. I'm a big fan of both. Big fan of Sonny. Sonny has fought at the higher level. Obviously a former world champion. I think he will take a lot of experience from that Bam fight. Bam always on the front foot, made Sonny work. Galal's good, but he's not no Bam Rodriguez, is he? So, yeah, I like it. Honestly, I can't wait to go up. I think it's going to be a really good atmosphere. There's a few good fights on the undercard as well, but this one is a great domestic fight over here. And I keep on talking about domestic fights over here because we need more of them. We haven't had as many as we had last year. Obviously Riyadh season, I think, just changed a lot of people's ideas and their diaries in terms of what they're going to do. But hopefully 2025 we can see a balance of both. Yes, we want these Riyadh season cards because they're good, they're fun, they're big, but we also need a lot of these domestic cards as well. What else we got? MVP, Jake Paul, Mike Tyson, conspiracy theories and insult. Yeah, they're silly. I don't know if they're an insult. You can understand why people have been, just the way in which the fight played out, it was awful. So you can understand why people are like, 1 second, did Mike, maybe not try to hit Jake? Did Jake not try to hit Mike? Jake, at the end of the fight, didn't he say in his post-fight press conference that he didn't want to hurt Mike? So you can understand why people run into some of these silly conspiracy theories, but I mean, the whole thing was silly. Let's move on from it. William Zepeda explains injury that forced him out of Shakur Stevenson fight. Maybe good. Like, I spoke to Sergio Mora after the fight and I was like, look, okay, going into the fight, it was all systems go Shakur Stevenson, right? Zepeda came into that fight, 31 fights, 31 wins, 27 knockouts. I mean, geez, you're hot. And surely it was a case of, okay, let's see how you look against Tevin Farmer, a slick boxer, similar, not the same, but similar in style to Shakur, and he didn't look good. He didn't look great. So even if there was no injury, and it's funny how Shakur Stevenson fans have jumped on this and said there is no injury, but I think there is. I don't see Zepeda ducking anyone. But even if there was no injury, after that performance against Tevin, there's no way run into Shakur straight away. You're just not going to do it. I think the fight will happen, but I'm thinking the back end of 2025. What I hope, though, is that this doesn't pause Shakur Stevenson. I hope Shakur still fights. I know FLOYD Schofield is calling him out, and FLOYD really wants that fight. He spoke about sparring, which is different from fighting. He spars Shakur and he thinks maybe he's learnt a bit from Shakur. But I like it. I love the call out. Over FLOYD Schofield, you got to aim upwards, and aiming upwards, I mean, in the 135 pound division, there aren't that many fighters better than Shakur Stevenson. He knows Shakur is desperate for a dance partner. Why not? You're not going to call out Javante when you know Javante's got Lamont Roach. Call out the big dog. And there's one big dog that's free right now, and his name is Shakur Stevenson. So, look, personally, I mean, I think it's a fantastic call out. I love it. Liam Parro urges Richardson Hitchins not to run when they fight on December 7th. I've seen little clips and snippets of the face-off, and it does look explosive. Hitchins will talk. Liam talks in the ring. We'll see. I always will favour Liam just because of what he did to Matias in Puerto Rico. And this one is in Puerto Rico as well. So strange that is, by the way. But I kind of know behind the scenes why it's happening in Puerto Rico. But yeah, I'm going to favour Liam Parro, and then hopefully we get to see Liam Parro versus Jack Catterall in the UK sometime in 2025. All right, very quickly before we talk about AJ Wilder, and Matchroom have signed top prospect Pat Brown. This was an interesting revelation, and the reason I say it is because Matchroom all week were kind of putting things out there saying, oh, we've got this signing, we've got this signing, and I kind of had ideas as to who it was, but the way in which they were like pushing it out there, I thought, my God, this might be someone enormous. I think Pat Brown's going to go on to do really good things in the sport of boxing, but Matchroom did make it seem as though they're signing fucking Goliath. You know what I mean? I was like, okay, who's this going to be? Oh my God, who's it going to be? Oh, okay, cool. And that's not a dig at Pat. I think Pat's going to be a good fighter. I do think he's going to sell some tickets. I think he's going to push the needle. But just announce him. You didn't have to do all this. Just announce him. That was all we wanted, dudes. That was all we wanted. All right, let's talk AJ Wilder. Wow. I feel like I've not spoke about those two in the same sentence for about a year. It's been a while, right? Ever since Wilder got slept by Zhang, that conversation went away. Ever since AJ got slept by Dubois, that conversation really went away. Ever since I thought Wilder had retired, it went away. Wilder then, a couple of weeks ago, put out this, I thought it was quite a fantastic video, announcing he's not retired and that he is still going to fight. And I was like, okay. And you know what? I kind of got excited by the video. I was like, oh, okay. And then I was like, oh, who's he going to fight though? It's all well and good saying you're coming back, but who are you going to fight? And then I thought, well, 1 second, AJ. And as crazy as that sounds, AJ is the one that made me think this. Remember, I sat down, this is prior to AJ versus Dubois, and I spoke about, is AJ not upset that it's not Wilder? And AJ said, no, I can still fight Wilder. And I was like, what? Like, Wilder just got beat by Zhang. What do you mean? He said, you know, he's a prize fighter. You know, he will still fight Deontay Wilder. AJ said this. No, this is not me saying it. This is AJ that said this. Now AJ, and by the way, when AJ said that, it sounded crazy because again, Wilder just been beat by Zhang, didn't look great against Parker, and AJ was on this trajectory like this. AJ's trajectory has hit a bump now. So all of a sudden, AJ saying he would fight Wilder doesn't seem as crazy as it did prior to AJ losing to Dubois. This is true. Look, AJ seems, or at least AJ's team seem to be set on AJ fighting the winner of Fury Usyk, if that's Fury, right? Or even the loser of Fury. What's plan B? What's that? What are we doing if that doesn't work out? If Fury loses badly and then just says, oh, fuck, I ain't fighting anymore, and AJ still wants to fight, what's plan B? A good plan B could be Deontay Wilder. It could be. I mean, there's always been this talk about AJ has to fight Fury because it's a fight we've been waiting for years. That's the narrative, right? AJ has to fight Fury because it's a fight we've been waiting for years. You know what fight we've been waiting for years as well? AJ Wilder. It's true. We've been waiting for AJ Wilder. And like, I would never, ever have said AJ should fight Wilder if AJ didn't just lose. AJ lost as bad as Wilder lost. True or false? True or false? And they lost to, I would say, the guy of similar abilities. Like if Zhang were to fight Dubois tomorrow, I would never ever put money on Dubois. Like I wouldn't even bet on that match because basically what I'm trying to say is I think Zhang is as good as Dubois, and they both got stopped by people of the same level. So I do think AJ's got a bit more in the tank than Wilder, but they're not that far off each other. They're not that far off each other. So it's not crazy to think that that fight could happen. Do I think, by the way, do I think that fight will happen? No, I don't. I'm not silly. I don't think it will happen. But I don't think it's crazy talk to have the conversation about it happening. Would the fight do good numbers? Absolutely. Who wouldn't tune in for that? Who wouldn't tune in for that? Of course you would. Like boxing can't just be about, all right, yeah, I'm only tuning in for the best versus the best. Number 1 versus number 2. Anything else, fuck it. No. Sometimes you will tune in for number 9 versus number 15. Sometimes you will do that. And that might be where both of them are at the moment. AJ might be around 8, 9, and Wilder maybe worse than 15 if I'm honest with you. But I still think there could be legs in it. I really do. I think you could sell it. I think people would be interested again because we waited for years. I throw back to you the Khan Brook narrative or analogy that I put out a few weeks ago, where we knew Khan was done. We knew Brook was done. Did it sell out the AO Arena? Of course it did. Why? Because people have been waiting for years. Just the way it is. You know, it's funny. See, we as hardcore boxing fans, we like to dig a bit deeper. Like, oh, no, AJ can't fight Wilder because AB. And we find 1,000 different reasons. Casual boxing fans like, fuck it, put them in with each other. And they're the ones that count, unfortunately. They're the ones that move the needle. They're the ones that make sure a fight either sells out or is a dud. Not us. No, there's not enough of us. So I would watch it. Do I think it will happen? Probably not. But again, I refer back to the interview that I did with AJ when asked AJ, are you upset this isn't Wilder? And he's like, no, I'll still fight Wilder. So maybe we are viewing it the wrong way and others are viewing it another way. But we'll see. We'll see. Brian Norman Jr. Looking at Errol Spence is like looking in a mirror. Steady. I mean, look, I'm not against Brian Norman, by the way. I think Brian Norman's a good fighter, but come on, steady. Errol Spence at that stage of his career was a killer. Errol Spence at the same stage that Brian Norman's at was coming over here and beating up Kell Brook. That's how good Errol was. Errol was a bad man. A bad man. By the way, it looks like we could have VERGIL Ortiz versus JARON Ennis. Eric Gomez, who is one of the top dogs at Golden Boy, I think told Dan Rafael that negotiations have begun for JARON Ennis versus VERGIL Ortiz. Now, I actually don't, this is my theory with this. I actually don't think JARON Ennis wants this fight. Not because Ennis is scared in any way, shape or form. I think the turnaround's too soon. But I think some of these fighters, and I think Big Baby Miller spoke about this, some of these fighters will take the fights on Riyadh season, even if they're not 100% ready, because they've got to. Money too big. You've almost got to take it. Like Ray Ford didn't really want to fight Nick Bull because Ray Ford knew he was going up in weight, but fuck, I have to take that fight. I remember Gerald Miller said to me he didn't want to take the fight against Daniel Dubois because he knew he wasn't in shape, but fuck, what? How much? Give me that fight. And I just wonder if JARON Ennis doesn't really want to do it. Like JARON Ennis, in an ideal world, if you were to speak to JARON Ennis' team and say, okay, when would you like JARON Ennis to fight again? Bear in mind, he fought 2 weeks ago. They'll say earliest end of March. So we're about a month early. But again, because what could be the main event, maybe this slots into a main event category, because there isn't no obvious main event right now. Like I did a video about Bivol Beterbiev. It doesn't look like it's going to be that. Dubois versus Parker, maybe Hamza Shiraz Carlos. There isn't no obvious main event. Here is your main event. And I almost feel like Boots might say yes, almost not wanting to, but has to, because the money will be too big to turn down. That's kind of my theory with it. Ryan Garcia's comeback begins with exhibition, then anything is on the table. I'm tired. I'm tired of Ryan. I'm tired of Teofimo. Devon's only giving me one fight a year. Javonte's not fighting till I'm tired of them all of them. So until they start fighting, we're not talking. All right, is that it? Are we done? I think we are done. Oh shit, I should have said this at the beginning of the video. Hopefully you guys are still here. Live tomorrow, 8 p.m. Sorry, not tomorrow. Live Thursday, 8 p.m. Come on, tune in. Tune into the live, please.